Hello and welcome to game 2 against Mollo8 in the final match of the Allies tournament. Looking at new cards, we've seen Capital City, we've seen Importer. We have not seen these Odysseys next to the Importer. It is a rotating pile, the top card of which is the old map. I think we've seen Carpenter before, and we haven't seen City State. When you gain an action card during your turn, you may spend 2 favors to play it. So I also didn't see City State in this kingdom from the big view here. That influences my decision in the opening. And it seems like Mollo8 spotted the City State, so that influenced their opening. You could pause the video at any of those moments to read these new cards from the Allies expansion. Okay, so here, as for the kingdom, seemed to me that you wanted to build something with capital cities and priests. If you play multiple priests, you can get lots of money and then use some of that money for draw with the capital city. This was the idea that I had going in. So I wanted to open with priest and some 3 cost. I opted for the old map because, like I said, I missed city state. I only saw it here when the game prompted me to. There it is, big for you all to read. And then I realized my mistake that Mollo8 does not make. They actually make a better play. They open better for this kingdom with the importer. So that goes into play straight away from them. I get a priest here. The choice is between priest and salvage. I opt for the priest because I will need the priest long term as well. And I get an estate out of my deck. So here, Mollo gains a priest is not gains a priest, sorry, they gain a salvager and is able to play it right away because of the city state, and they get up to 6, so they could get a capital city if they like. Instead, they opt for a couple old maps. I expected a city there, but they go for the 2 old maps instead. Now I get my importer and I stick it in play straight away because I have the 2 favors from the city state. And Mollo takes the 3rd old map here, and I'm not sure why they have all these old maps, but let's see where it gets them. The next card is Voyage. Voyage gives you an extra turn, but you could only play 3 cards from your hand on that extra turn. My old map comes out, I rotate, trigger, shuffle, perhaps should have considered not triggering, and I buy a Voyage instead of a capital city there. I don't want them to buy the Voyage and rotate the pile away from me mostly. They have lots of old maps, so they have greater control over that pile. So old map comes out, salvager trashes again, they will pick up a Voyage of their own. 4 for me here is unfortunate, but what can you do? I get a second priest. Hopefully all of that could line up. Mollo rotates to the Sunken Treasure. So Sunken Treasure, it doesn't have any coin value to it, but it says gain an action that you do not have in play. Can be strong, especially on voyage turns. So here they draw through a lot of their deck with the old maps. They get an importer and a voyage in play. So they'll have the extra voyage turn here where they can play 3 cards. First of all, the importer gains a Sunken Treasure. So the first card from their hand is Capital City. They discard. For coins, second card is Salvage, and the third card is the Copper. So that's it. They can't play any more cards from their hand. But it turns out that that's still a productive turn for them. Able to trash and get up to 5. Probably for another capital city at this point. So it looks like they are ahead at this stage in the game, which makes sense. They opened better than I did. They opened with the gainer and was able to put the gain cards into the shuffle straight away. I waited a turn for that because I didn't read properly. I get my voyage and importer. Here I save an estate because I know there are priests coming up. My importer will go ahead and gain a capital city. Instead of a sunken treasure, I play my priest, I play 1 copper, and I play another copper, and that's it. I cannot play anything else from my hand. Save the priest, and I go for another importer here. I really want to try to win the capital city split, which is why I have 2 importers. I'm a little bit over terminal, but the importers are duration cards, so maybe it's okay. Alright, Mollo rotates away from the sunken treasures into the distant shores and picks up a priest. The distant shore, you'll see later on what it does. Old map draws me into 3 terminals, and still 3 terminals. Thank you for that. I rotate back to Voyage because I don't want them to start picking up distant shores. It draws cards, and I don't want to give them a chance to further improve their deck. Save, pick up a silver for me. Alright, old map now for Mollo. Capital City. I'm trying my best here to catch up on the trashing. I may have trashed a bit more than them, but I'm not sure. They get a Voyage in play, and the importer comes on. This is a very nice combination, Voyage and importer. On the Voyage turn, you could gain the 5 cost and put the importer back in your deck. Sunken Treasure will give them an action of their choice that is not in play. Here it's a priest. So now they have lots of trashing. They have 2 priests and a salvager. Importer gains another capital city. Priest trashes, and 4 money is enough. They could probably save whatever they have and buy a silver like I did, and that's exactly what they do. My Voyage is going to take place now. I buy another silver. I don't see better options, but maybe silver is wrong. I don't know. So Voyage, remember 3 cards from the hand. 1 is Capital City, 2 is Priest, and I'm not going to play the last one. Just save my Capital City for next turn. I know how many terminals I have, so I would like to save the Capital City for them. Pick up yet another silver. So the pile gets rotated back to the sunken treasures and then back to the distant shores. I imagine Mollo would like to pick up one of those. And their deck is getting gradually thinner. And I am becoming increasingly worried about my position in this game. They trash 2 cards, get a Voyage into play, get an importer into play. Sunken Treasure will easily gain that 6 cost action, the distant shore, and they can pick up another here if they like. Instead, they opt for a Capital City, which makes perfect sense. Is probably better than the distant shore. Importer gains them another Capital City. Voyage, remember, only 3 cards can be played. So Capital City, distant shore, Capital City, that's it. No more cards can be played. They could save and set aside something here. That's probably the best they can do on this turn. Distant shore also gains an estate, and I'm not sure if you saw that. Alright, back to me. So nothing exciting came from that Voyage turn. They did gain a capital city, so that I would say is already worth it, even if you don't get any treasures in play or buy any other cards. I still think that's fine. Alright, my priest comes out to continue trashing. I get a distant shore here. That looks wrong. That should have been a capital city. Really, that was me just being panicky about that green pile there, and the ease with which Mollo can contest it. They're more trashed, so they could take the estates on and then trash them out very easily via priest or salvager. And I think here they managed to connect priest and another trasher. They are drawing through their deck quite well at this point. The old map helps sift. The capital city can see quite a few cards. Yeah, priest followed by priest gets them up to 4. They would have liked 5, I imagine, but it's coming together for them. It's coming together. You'll see some big priest turns for them soon. Gets a silver Voyage. Importer on the Voyage turn nets them a capital city. So good. So good. Just that by itself. Trashing out a copper sunken treasure. See how good that is on the Voyage turn when you already cannot play many cards from your hand. Very, very nice. Easy gain of this distant shore, which you see on your screen. Big. Like a lab, and gains an estate, plus is worth 2 points. Alright, so I gain the last capital city. That puts the split at 6-4 in their favor. So despite me having 2 importers, I was unable to even gain parity in that capital city split. And now there's only so much I can build here. There's only so much I can build here because I have less capital cities. I gain a third priest, and I don't think I can support more than that. Probably I would like, ideally, play 3 priests and an importer, and that's it. That would soak up all my actions. So I'm out of gas on that front, which means we have to green. For my voyage turn nets me a distant shore, so we split those 2 to 2. At least I split that draw pile 2 to 2, but I need to move very quickly here into the end game and try and not give Mollo enough time to take advantage of their brilliant deck, as you see in full flow here. Capital City drawing cards off of the money that Priest generates. This was the idea from the beginning. Mollo got there before me, reasonably so, because of the opening. I missed City State entirely. And they are able to see all the cards in their deck. So really it's just a matter of time for me at this point, I think. Sunken Treasure, I'm not sure what they want to gain here. I think they end up gaining Merchant Guild, which is reasonable. And they go for a Platinum, targeting colonies, of course. And they save by a copper. The copper there is probably to feed to the priest. Importer gains another Merchant Guild. So you see, with obviously with the 6-4 split in their favor, they can build more easily and build bigger, is what I mean to say there. So they got a coffer there from the Merchant Guild after buying a silver. Alright, so let's see how I go about this now. I draw, find that priest I would like to continue drawing. I don't discard, I just use the priest money there. I find my other priest here, so now I'm kicking off a little bit, but I don't find the other capital cities. Don't know where they are. Could save here, or I could buy platinum. I think I would rather buy the platinum. You know, Carpenter now acts as a remodel, so I have some ideas of targeting the colony pile, making it go down very quickly here. Salvage also achieves a similar effect, so I gain 1 here, and it works well with the priests. You know, I play priest first, then I play salvage. I get money in addition to the money that salvager would give me. Still trashing coppers out the deck, and I save a capital city for next turn. Alright, let's look at Mollo's turn. Much more exciting, using the new cards very well, as opposed to me just fumbling around here. So they will, first line up a priest, draw through, and then line up their other priests and their salvager. I think you see everything in full flow here from them. The Merchant Guilds are a very nice touch to this deck. If you notice, the Distant Shores have been gaining cards, they've been gaining estates, and they have some number of buys, 4 buys here from the salvager. They have 2 guilds in play, and guild has been reworded so that at the end of the buy phase, you gain coffers for the number of cards that you gained during that turn, not just buy. So you'll see how many coffers they rack up here. Trash that silver, they get +4 from the priest and then +3 from the silver itself. So lots of money. They still have a platinum to come out as well. Still the platinum is there. I assume this is what they go looking for with this capital city. They discard some for money, and they get a carpenter from the sunken treasure. 16 could be colony already, and I don't have an answer to that. They could continue building with more platina. Perhaps that's probably the only thing they can build with at this point. Maybe they could get away with a second carpenter and give up one of their importer plays, for example. But really, the ball is in their court, and any reasonable direction they go in at this point will win the game. Colony is completely fine here. And they buy another fairgrounds and some coppers. So the coppers now serve 2 purposes. It is there for the priest to trash and nets them 2 coffers. Look, they got 8 coffers on that turn. And guess what? On your voyage turn, you could spend the coffers. Those don't count as cards in play. They gain a duchy here again is fine. I don't think they needed to gain the duchy, but whatever. Doesn't really matter at this point. And already, they have 10 coins here. So they probably can get to colony very easily on the voyage turns now because of the coffers from the merchant guild that you would gain from the turn before the voyage. So everything came together very elegantly here for them. The priest, the salvager, the merchant guild is what you can do on this kingdom. So it's good to at least see that from one player, right? With this huge colony lead, there's not much I can do here, really. I do string together my weaker version of their deck, which has priests and salvager as well. But I don't have nearly as much money as they do. Also, please note that the estate pile will certainly run out with the distant shores. It's run out just now, so 2 piles are empty. And it's very easy for them with the carpenter to potentially pile out on me. I do manage to get up to double colony. Minor consolation, at least the deck can do something. So maybe if they stall on a turn, maybe I have a narrow, very slim chance of making something happen here, but seems like that stall, that brick, that spicy brick is elusive for me. So they draw through, and I think they do much of the same here. And they are able to pile out on me, but not through the colonies. They, I think they do it in a slightly more risky way here, which they didn't have to do at all. They didn't have to pile out this way. There was no reason to even give me any opportunity to come back in the game from here. So you'll see what I'm talking about. Here comes the voyage, here comes the merchant guild. So notice they did not play many of their priests. They probably discarded them. Probably didn't want to play them because there was nothing too trash. Just a merchant guild and a salvager here. And the line they choose here is, I think, to go after the priests themselves. So they take 2 priests, right? Which is really 3 priests because the importer isn't playing and you know you have another turn. So that priest goes away very easily. But now, can they get the last 2 priests? You know, they haven't gained any points and we're just 8 points adrift at them. If they do not find plus buy and enough money here, maybe they've left the door open for me at this point. And remember, this voyage turn, they can only play 3 cards. So here's one of them, Capital City. What's left? It needs to be very, very good. Priest is decent. Trash is copper, and Carpenter killed. Carpenter killed me there. So the carpenter is the extra gain that they needed to gain one of the priests because they had the money already for one of the priests. And they buy that to pile out. Alright, so that is game 2. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.